We have already learned about what a voice is. So a voice is that form of a verb which shows whether the subject of the verb is the doer or agent of the action denoted by the verb or not. We have also learned that the subject in the passive voice is not the doer of the action but the receiver of the action, and the doer is usually mentioned after the verb in passive voice. So, if you take an example like the ball is kicked by Sam. In this sentence, is kicked is the verb, the subject is the ball, what is kicked? The ball. So, the ball is the subject and Sam is the doer of the action kicked. So, the kicking is actually done by Sam. So, Sam is the doer, but the subject is the receiver in this case. And we have seen that before the doer, we have used the preposition by. So, the doer is usually mentioned after the verb. So, here Sam is mentioned after the verb is kicked. So, this sentence, the ball is kicked by Sam, is in the passive voice. Now look at this sentence. The thief was arrested by the police. Now this sentence is in the passive voice. How do we understand? We see the verb is was arrested, which follows be plus past participle form of the verb. Also we see the subject is the thief, who is the receiver of the action, was arrested. So the thief is not performing the action of arresting. It is the police who is arresting. The thief is the receiver. So the subject becomes the receiver in this case, and hence the sentence is in the passive voice. Now we have mentioned the doer, the police, after the verb. Now in this case, is the doer very important? Even if we write it without the police, it is understandable that the thief will be arrested by the police only. Nobody else can arrest a thief. So, we can also write it as the thief was arrested. So, in many cases you will see that in the passive voice, we may omit the doer when it is obvious. So, arrested by the police is a very obvious thing to happen. So, even if we write the thief was arrested, it makes the same sense. In such a case, we may simply omit the doer. The roads across the city are cleaned regularly by the municipality. Now, in this case also, what do we see? Our verb is are cleaned, and who is the doer in this case? The municipality. The roads across the city, that is the subject of the sentence who is receiving the action, are cleaned. Now, we know that the municipality always takes care of the cleanliness of the city. So, even if I write the roads across the city are cleaned regularly without mentioning the doer, I mean the same thing, or anybody will understand it without any confusion. So, in such a case, once again the doer becomes very obvious and we may omit it if we wish to. Now in this sentence, it is said by the people that this river is sacred. Who is performing this action of saying? Who is the doer in this case? The people. It is said by the people. So who is saying it? The people. Now when we talk about people saying something, as in this river is sacred, it is obvious that many people are saying, not any person in particular. So when it is a general belief, we can simply omit the doer and say it is said that this river is sacred. So here the doer has been omitted. Why? Because it represents a large number of individuals. So in many cases where we talk about general beliefs of people, where a large number of individuals constitute the doer, we may often choose to omit the doer in the passive voice. The annual meet will be organized on Sunday by the committee. In this sentence, our verb is will be organized. Now, who is the doer of this action? The committee. Now, it is obvious that an event like the annual meet will be organized by some committee, some members of the club or the community. So, even if we do not mention the doer and simply say the annual meet will be organized on Sunday, it gives us the same meaning. So, we can also choose to omit the doer in such cases. A spoon was kept on the table. Now here the verb is was kept. So we know a spoon was kept. The spoon did not perform this action of keeping. So it is the receiver of the action. Someone kept the spoon on the table, but we do not know who. So in such a case where the doer is unknown, we often use the passive voice. You will be informed about the progress of work over telephone. Now in this case, you will be informed. So this is our verb. Now you will be informed. But who is informing? That is not given in the sentence. So in such a case where the speaker wishes to remain neutral, objective or distant, we choose to use the passive voice. So here the receiver is more important than the doer. So even if we omit the doer, it does not hamper the meaning of the sentence. So in a case you, here you is the receiver, you will be informed, but who is informing? That is not mentioned. The vegetables are boiled at an optimum temperature. Now here are boiled is the verb, and what are boiled? The vegetables. But who boils it? Anyone. So anyone can boil the vegetables at an optimum temperature. So here too you see the doer is not important. You, me or any person can boil it at an optimum temperature. So here too we do not need the doer to be present in the sentence, and hence passive voice is used while explaining a process in general because it applies for all. So it is not dependent on a particular doer. The examination will be held tomorrow. Now this is kind of a notice which is given. The examination will be held tomorrow. So will be held is the verb here. Now who will hold the examination is not important. It will be either held by the board or by the school. So whichever governing body is authorized to take that examination will be holding the examination. So if I say the examination will be held tomorrow, I do not need the doer in this case. So what do we see? Passive voice is used while writing formal notices or announcements. So we'll notice that in announcements or in public notices, we often use the passive voice instead of the active voice. So here the receiver of the action is given more importance than the doer, because the doer in some way becomes quite obvious. Photography is prohibited here. In this case, is prohibited is the verb. Now when I say photography is prohibited here, it is a kind of a notice for everybody, and it holds for everyone in general, not for a particular person. So here the doer is not important. What is important is photography is prohibited here, whoever that person may be. So in such a case, we avoid or omit the doer. We also use passive voice while writing newspaper reports. For example, let's take this sentence. Several people were injured in the accident. Now this is a kind of a newspaper report. Now in newspaper reports, we will often come across sentences like this, where we will see the verb is in the passive voice without any doer being mentioned. So several people were injured in the accident. So we are more focused on the outcome of the action rather than who caused it. The flight was delayed due to heavy rain. Now in this sentence, was delayed is the verb and the sentence is in the passive voice. How do we understand? If we look at the verb form, we see that it is be plus past participle form of the verb delay. So the flight was delayed due to heavy rain. Now at times you will see sentences like the flight got delayed due to heavy rain. So when the agent is not mentioned or not known, an appropriate form of the verb get is sometimes used instead of the be verb. So instead of this be verb, we have used the get verb. Since we have used the past form of be verb here, we have used the past form of get. So the flight got delayed due to heavy rain. But even this sentence is in the passive voice. So these are exceptional cases where we do not have the be plus past participle form but have get plus past participle form of the verb. In which of the following sentences is the doer not required? So given are two sentences, the broken fan is repaired by the mechanic. And the second sentence is, a brilliant cat was taken by Rakesh. Now both these sentences we see are in the passive voice. The verb form is repaired and was taken follow that be plus past participle form of the verb. But if you see in this case, the doer is the mechanic and in the second case the doer is Rakesh. Now when I say the broken fan is repaired by the mechanic, is the doer very important? No, because it is obvious that the broken fan will always be repaired by the mechanic. So even if I say the broken fan is repaired, it is understood that the mechanic has repaired the fan. So we can simply choose to omit this portion. But in this case, a brilliant cat was taken by Rakesh. Now, if I remove the doer in this case, a brilliant cat was taken, I do not understand who has taken that cat. It can be anyone other than Rakesh as well. So here the doer is important and we cannot choose to omit this part. So only in this case we can choose to omit the doer, but not in this case. Here the doer Rakesh is important to make this sentence complete, as in to say who has taken this cat. So if I omit Rakesh or the doer in this sentence, I am actually omitting a vital piece of information. So that is not permissible. So only in this case we can omit the doer. So what did we learn today? We have learnt about the different uses of the passive voice, and we have seen that in a passive voice our focus is always on the receiver and the doer is mentioned after the verb. We have also seen cases in which we may choose to omit the doer without affecting the meaning of the sentence. So now you can take up more examples of passive voice and see if you can choose to omit the doer in those cases or not. We will learn more about voices very soon. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. You can also register for free at deltastep.com or download the DeltaStep app to get all learning resources as per ICSE, CBSE, IB, Cambridge or any other curriculum. Over 5,000 amazing lectures across maths, science, English and social science. Our unique interactive video technology keeps you engaged and our iDictionary feature allows you to quickly revise any concept. Master each topic at your own pace with our adaptive practice technology and 1 million plus questions. Get instant answers and detailed solutions. Be exam ready by taking unlimited mock tests. Performance analysis along with actionable feedback, personal tutors to resolve your slightest of doubts. That's not all. You can also win amazing prizes like PlayStation, iPad, watches and many more along with certificates through our Earn As You Learn program. So at DeltaStep, Learning is not just fun and easy, it is rewarding too. So register for free now.